yourself at home. Enjoy the time we share with a dash of this and a pinch of that, mixed all up with care. The best company and conversation, recipes and new creations. We're cooking up something good here at home. We are cooking up something good here at home.
Well, hello, at-home family. We're so glad you dropped into the at-home kitchen today. It's always good when the family gets together. I want to talk today about favorites. You know, when you say, well, what's your favorite food? Everybody has an opinion. Well, who's your favorite movie star? They'll tell you. Who's your favorite person to go to if you have a problem? Well, what's your favorite song? Or what's your favorite game? Or what's your favorite sport? Favorites, that puts something into a class by itself. And so today we're going to do favorites. Not my favorites, not anybody else's favorites except Paul's, my precious husband, Paul. He had so many favorites, and every time I make them, this is what he would say. That's the best you ever made, Ar. That's the best you ever made. And I'd make it the same every single time. But every time it was the best he ever ate. So today we're doing all of Paul's favorites. He loved rolled stuffed steak. My mom introduced him to this when we were going together, and that became his favorite. Always loved mashed potatoes and that real dark brown gravy. He'd call it mahogany gravy that comes from the steak, the juices from the steak, which makes good, rich gravy. And he loved Brussels sprouts. That was his favorite. And he liked them roasted in the oven. And then there was one of his favorites was either coleslaw or creamed cucumbers. That was his favorite salad. Then he had two favorites for desserts. He had a summertime favorite, which was strawberry shortcake with fresh strawberries, or the winter favorite was a chocolate cake with white icing and a glass of milk. Obviously, the man knew what his favorites in the food line was because he had them all down pat. And everything I've talked to you about today, just now, we're going to make on the program. Patti Macy is back with me, a longtime friend of the family, attended my dad's church, loved Paul, her family. We've always been very close. She's coming back to help me cook all of Paul's favorites. So you don't want to miss it. And as soon as we have our hint, we'll be back to get it started here in the at-home kitchen. We'll be right back. Here's today's at-home hint. Prevent eggs from cracking as they hard boil by adding 2 tablespoons of white vinegar to the water. The eggs will stay intact and the shells will peel off more easily when you're ready to eat them. Patti, I'm glad you're here today.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, and everybody's always glad to see you because it's like the prodigal has returned. She's so busy with her bakery. It was nice that you could adjust your time to come and help us to make all of Paul's favorite, because you knew how he liked to eat, right?
Yes, I do.
Oh, my goodness, for sure. You're going to make the gourmet mashed potatoes, and they're not just mixed mashed potatoes. They're gourmet. Tell us what you're going to put in them.
I'm going to put butter, cream cheese, green onions.
Green onion.
And sour cream.
Okay, and salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper, of course.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
And I'm going to start with, this is, thank God for CW Meats. This guy, Bill up there, you go up there and tell him, hey, Arlene was talking about you on her program. This guy cuts the best meats. He just makes whatever you want. This is an eye of round roast that he actually filleted it to a nice piece of meat like this. You could also use round steak, and I've done that before. But you want that flavor, and you want a nice flat surface. And what I do, I just take a little salt, and I salt this. This is coarse salt, just like that, and a little pepper, because you always want to salt that and pepper that flavor your meats. Then you make your favorite dressing, whatever kind of stuffing you like. You can use the stovetop, you can make your own, the grandma made, plain bread stuffing, whatever kind. Put mushrooms in it, whatever you want. Okay? And then you just mound the stuffing right onto the meat. I'm going to get it all on here, and then I'm going to spread it. Now you want this to be kind of on the moist side, and you're just going to take the stuffing and you're spreading it to the edge. Now we're going to roll it this way, so You want to leave this edge a little bit without any stuffing because you need a part of this to be able to grasp onto this edge to hold it in. So that's what we're going to do. And we're just spreading it out. Do it as evenly as possible. Make sure there's some. You know, the Italians call this a braciole. I don't think they use bread in that stuffing, do they, Patty?
You know what? I've never made it. My dad makes it, and his is incredible.
Yeah, but I think they use mostly herbs and stuff. Garlic and
There's stuff in it, though. I almost think there is some kind of a stuffing of some
bread,
sort, like breading.
Yeah, I've never seen it with breading. I have seen it with the other.
Yeah, he makes it, and his is really good, but I don't remember.
Okay, so basically, that's what you're going to do. Now you're going to start at this back part, and you're just going to pick it up, and you're going to start to roll it. Okay? I'm going to roll it like that. Just keep rolling it. This board isn't helping me.
Do you need me to hold it?
You know what? Just take the board out from under it. The counter's nice and clean. Thank you.
There you go.
That'll be so much easier. There we go. And you want to roll it. Make sure it's good and tight. You want to get the air out of it. Just like that. Make sure you stuff all the little pieces that want to pop out. You want to stuff them back in because that's somebody's stuffing. Now, you get cord. These are just pieces of string. You use household string or whatever, and you lay them out. There's about 8 pieces here. And you just cut them, and you lay them out about 2 inches apart on your counter. Just like that. And I've dampened them because they will adhere better to the steak. If they're a little bit moist, you'd want to do that. Okay.
Would they burn in the oven too if you didn't
Yeah,
put water
I think.
on them?
But we're going to do this we're going to brown this off in a skillet first. So,
Okay.
and then you pick this up, and you're going to lay this right over your cords, just like that. And then you're going to start. You're just going to knot them. Pull it tight and knot it over, just like that. How are we doing? Oh,
Good.
look at those potatoes.
I got it all.
Well, Patty, Miss Neatness over there. I'm telling you.
You know I'm here.
She's here, she's back, and the whole place is looks like a zoo, but she's here. No.
I'm here.
You know one thing about Patty, she leaves her mark wherever she comes back.
I
But
get into
but
my
we
work.
still love you anyway.
I get into my work.
She does. She up to her knees and her elbows and everything
That's
else.
Andy always laughs at me too. He's like, my goodness.
But you know what? That means you really enjoy what you're doing.
Is that what that means?
Well, I don't know.
He
It
keeps
sounds
saying
good.
It's a sign of creativity. I said, okay, I like that too. I like that.
Makes you feel good, huh?
Well, they laugh when I work in the yard.
Oh,
'Cause it
yeah,
looks
I'll
like
bet.
I've rolled in the dirt.
Well, stay with your bakery.
Yeah. And I
Yeah,
look
because
like a
she's
little
behind the
powdered
scenes.
sugar.
She's behind the scenes, so that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have them all. Now, we're going to put our skillet in here, and we just have a little bit of oil. Don't want a lot, because you're just going to brown this off. And let's see, I need some,
What do you need?
I need to get my, I think I have a couple little things to hold the ends in here. Maybe not.
Those
Skewers.
little metal things.
Yeah, little skewers.
There you
I'll show
go.
you with this what to do. What you want to do, because maybe some toothpicks, some wooden toothpicks would help too. If you don't have these, we could use wooden toothpicks. And you just take the skewer, and you see this end, you want to make sure that you put the skewer through all of the parts of the meat, and then just push it down into itself so that that will hold the stuffing in there. Now, if you have more skewers, you can do the other end too. Unfortunately, I ran out of skewers.
But I
They're
think we're
probably
finding
packed away with all the
toothpicks.
stuff for
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
there's a-
Yeah, I think these will work.
Lori's finding us
You just have to
toothpicks.
make sure that before you serve this, you take them out.
Oh, yeah.
We don't want people having a problem. That would not be a good idea.
It almost looks like you're sewing with them.
I
while
know,
You're
huh?
weaving it in there, yeah.
Well, but you have to do that to catch all of the
Get it all in there.
parts
That's
of it.
pretty cool.
Now, how are we going to keep those potatoes? Are they nice and creamy?
Yes.
Do you think
I
they need
think so.
more
I want
of
you
anything?
to try them first.
Okay. They need to, if you're going to put them in a crock pot to hold them, they need to be really, really moist. So you might need a little more milk or something in there. Now, I'm dropping this into this hot grease, just like that. And you can say, oh, what am I gonna do with that big lump? It'll turn, it'll curl around. And you're just gonna brown that, braise it on all sides. When you're done, and don't, whatever you do, if you want good gravy, don't get rid of the drippings that's in there, because that's what's gonna make the basis for your wonderful gravy. Right, Patty?
Oh, yes, it does.
So we're browning this off. She's gonna pop those potatoes into the crock pot to hold them. It's amazing how well that holds them. We come back, a whole lot more sides of Paul's favorite foods. We'll be right back in just a minute. Well, it's time for all the sides now, and Patty's gonna make a dessert. And we even got Laurie here, who's been like my right arm forever and a day, and she's like the best. And she's camera shy though, so we're not gonna talk to her. She's gonna pretend like she's not here. But she's gonna make like some coleslaw, and she's gonna make some Brussels sprouts, because those are Paul's favorite. So go ahead, I'm not talking to you, just there's somebody over here making stuff. We'll pretend like she's not here, because we don't wanna embarrass her or make her nervous. But Patty, on the other hand, she's over here, and Paul loved a chocolate cake. I mean, he loved it. That was his winter favorite, with white icing, not whipped cream.
Nope, Jack Frost.
Jack Frost icing, just a plain, and what's in that?
It's just powdered sugar, butter, shortening, vanilla, a little milk.
That's it. And that was his favorite. So she's making that. His summer favorite dessert was strawberry shortcakes made with those little biscuits on the Bisquick box. That was his favorite. That's what I'm making. Okay, so I have Bisquick here. This is gonna be enough for 12. Okay, and then I'm gonna add some melted butter, some tablespoons of melted butter.
I love the Bisquick.
I do too.
Shortcake, that's always been my favorite
My mom was
too.
the one that turned Paul onto that. When he first came, we were going together, and she'd make that. He'd say, "Oh my goodness, I never tasted anything as that good."
I love it.
Okay, and then there's some sugar, because you want to sweeten up the dough a little bit.
Yep.
Then you want to sour the milk, because that will interact with the what's in there. So you just take your milk, and you add either a teaspoon of fresh lemon juice, which will sour it. Might need a little bit more on that. You do that and then stir it, and when it starts to look sour, you know that you're at that point. You can also use white vinegar. I'm gonna add just a little bit more. And it's amazing how that sours down that milk. But it gives it such a good flavor, just like buttermilk always tastes good. That's what this will do. And I'm just gonna add that to what I already have in here. And there you go. So we have the Brussels are in the oven, right? Brussels are in the oven, and they're gonna cook until they're nicely browned.
I'm glad you're showing how to do the Brussels that way.
Yeah.
Everybody's so used to going to the store, buying the bag, and pop it in the microwave. So this is really...
This is different. Roasted always makes them sweeter, and I'll tell you what, if you add any other kind of vegetable with it, you're gonna love it, because it's so good. I'm just gonna mix this up. Now these only bake for like 12 minutes. Very simple, very easy, and they don't go on a greased cookie sheet or anything. And this isn't supposed to be a smooth dough, not at all. You just mix it up. It should be a little lumpy, because that's the consistency that we have with Bisquick. You know, if you ever made pancakes with that, you know, they tell you don't beat it till it's smooth. It needs that little bit of lumpiness in there to make it good. Look at Patty's cake. You can tell she's a professional. I'd still be playing, trying to get one cake on top of the other if it was me. But she knows what she's doing.
I've done it many years.
I'm telling you, a lot of cakes done over the years for you, huh?
Oh my, yes.
Laurie, could you give me a little bit more milk, please? Thank you. This is a big batch here, and I just want to make sure I have enough moisture in there. Yeah, thank you. Our big pitcher here. That should be about right. Just takes a little bit. Doesn't take a lot, just a little bit.
I piled the icing on too.
Yeah, because he loved that.
Oh yes, he did.
He didn't like a lot of fancy stuff, but what he liked, he really liked, and that's what he always wanted. Every once in a while, I would try to get something new and different, you know, say, let's try this. And he'd say, yeah, it's okay, but I like that other we used to make better. Yeah, okay, Paul, whatever you want, honey. But he enjoyed food, sit at the table. He would smack his lips and always.
Don't you love eating with people like that?
Yeah,
I really do. People really enjoy their food.
Yeah, especially people that just sit and eat. You never know if they like it, if they hate it, if it gives them indigestion or not. But not Paul. He'd always tell you. And no matter where he went, He was gracious to the cook, gracious to the hosts. If we were out for dinner with some friends' house, he was always very gracious and always very complimentary. You know, it's nice to live with a person like that. Very nice. Okay, we got the biscuits. Now I'm going to put them out. And you just do this by a spoonful. Drop them on your sheet. You should make about 12. And I kind of try to make them in a circle because it's just supposed to look like a round biscuit.
Oh, you making them like little individual ones?
Yeah, because instead of a big cake, this way, if you don't use them all, these freeze so well. It's amazing how well they freeze.
When you just bring them out
Bring
and
them
then you
out.
have a dessert.
Yeah. Pop them in the microwave,
Very clever.
and you got them.
Especially for summertime.
Yeah, you don't
You
have
don't want to
to.
turn that oven on.
Yeah, you got that right. You don't want to have to play around with getting everything out to make them again. You made it once, you stick them in the freezer, and you got them.
Now, do you do it with ice cream and strawberries, or just strawberries?
But of course, have to do it with ice cream. What's a strawberry without some ice cream? Although, my mom used to like it with ice cream. My dad used to like it. You put a lot of the juice from the berries, but he liked to put milk, pour milk over it. Then my brothers liked it with whipped cream. So
they
my
all
mother
had their
was like
favorite.
doing a restaurant there, you know. I'd say, Mom, you make everybody what they want. She said, well, everybody has different likes, so let's make what they like.
And when
and
you
she
do it
did.
individual like that, it's easy to make it
Yeah.
how they want it. Perfect.
Instead of making one cake where everybody doesn't like what they're doing.
Right.
How's this? Oh, look at that.
That looks amazing.
I think we need a little bit more mayonnaise on that, just a bit.
I like it cut that fine, too.
I do too. I don't like,
Big
you know,
hunks of cabbage.
right. And that's the reason why we always do ours in the food processor. That's the easiest way to make, if you're going to get a headed cabbage and you're going to make coleslaw, you want to do it that way.
And you chop it, you use the blade. Most people put it in the top.
I know.
But I like the blade,
the blade
because the
does
way it
better.
chops it. I even do carrot cake that way.
Sure.
So it's fine bits of carrots and you don't get a
Absolutely.
big hunk of carrot.
Absolutely. Now, as I said, these are going to bake just for about 12 minutes. I don't know why this dough's acting persnickety here for me now, but we'll work with it, and it'll be
Do you
okay.
need more milk?
No, it's just that one little spot was dry. I'll work on it as soon as I get the others ready. And you got the cake ready.
Yep, cake's ready.
Laurie's got,
I'm just playing
man,
now.
she did double duty. She's got already the Brussels in there, and they're going to bake and roast until they start to get brown. But you want to shake the pan every once in a while so that they don't burn on the surface that's on the flat of the pan. So go in there with your spatula every 6, 7, 8 minutes and flip them over. That keeps you abreast of when you're going to need to take them out too. So we're going to continue. We come back. We're going to be in the dining room with everything you've seen today. Here's how you can get all the recipes from today. In fact, the whole month. We'll be back in just a minute. Well, I hope you were a part of our program today and you've been watching what we've been preparing, because this table is full of all the favorite things that my husband Paul so enjoyed. We're going to start down there at the front of the table. Well, first of all, let me introduce who's all here. Of course, Patti helped me today, and I'm here, and Miss Laurie's here, who's my right hand. But this guy next to me, you don't ever see him. Well, occasionally you do, because he was on Cooked with me one time, but he's usually behind the scenes running camera. But he and Paul had a real special friendship and kind of mentored him, didn't he?
Yes.
And so I thought it would be appropriate for him to be here because he likes all this stuff too. Now we're going to take a trip around the table. There's our rolled stuffed steak. Does that look good or what? Done to a T. Finish it off in the kitchen. Next to it, we made brown gravy because you want to put that over the gourmet mashed potatoes that's there. Look at those potatoes. Patti, you did an outstanding job.
Thank you.
Oh, and then we have our coleslaw, which is one of Paul's very, very favorites. He enjoyed that. No matter when you made it, he loved it and he ate it. And then the Brussels sprouts that we roasted in the oven, which are very good and very sweet, one of his very favorites. And then Patti made him his favorite. This is his chocolate cake with the white icing. And he loved York peppermint patties. So we just decorated the top of that with some peppermint patties, give it a little flavor. I think it's a cute little cake idea. And then this is the strawberries with the strawberry biscuit. Remember, we made the big biscuit. And then we did the fresh strawberries. And of course, he liked his with ice cream. And the ice cream's melting, but this is kind of what he enjoyed so much. Just a little dish like that. That was his summer favorite. Then there's a few other things on the table. He loved radishes, so we have a little bowl of radishes down there. And he and Laura used to, if I had a loaf of bread on the set, they would be sneaking the bread and getting the preserves, and they'd be over in the corner eating, and I'd say, "You're eating all the bread. What if we need that for the program?" If he didn't take it, she would take it, but they always shared, which was nice. The thieves share at this table. I just want to thank all of you for everything you've added to Paul's life. I thank the crew here. This crew is amazing. There's nobody in television like this crew, and they're the best. And I just want to thank all of them. Mostly I want to thank you, At Home family, because you really have been a support of strength and help, and your prayers are so appreciated. We just love you and thank you for all that you've done. And, you know, Paul's fan club, you still write to me, and I really appreciate it because that brought him such joy. And I hope you have some favorites out of the things that Paul's favorites were. And I hope that you will enjoy them. Thank you, Patti, for being here. Thank you, Lori, for everything. And thank you, Mr. Allen.
Thank you.
You're the best. And you're the best, too. So be sure to join us the next time. Because, you know, it just wouldn't be the same without all of you as our family right here at home. God bless you, and take care.
Provided by Jordan Banana Company, wholesalers of fresh fruit and vegetables in Dravosburg, Pennsylvania.
Cornerstone Television wishes to thank all our faithful viewers whose consistent prayers and financial support have made this program possible.